showtime. More than sports now. More than crunch time. We rush like fourth down.
I be taking win. We don't mess with laws. I be taking win. We don't mess with laws. I be taking win. We don't mess with laws. I be taking win. We don't mess with laws. We been on that paper chasing all that fashion. We been on that paper chasing what you ration.
Been in the grind now. We ready for prime time. Ready for shine now. Be ready to get smile. On the rise, all eyes up on us now. Blast off spaceships till the touchdown.
Energy level on high, put that trouble on fire. Double it down, I'ma spit it around. Click, clack, boom, we the best in town. Energy level on high, put that trouble on fire. Double it down, I'ma spit it around. Click, clack, boom, we the best in town. I started off the lowest point in life, though. I started off the lowest point in life, though. I started off the lowest point in life, though. I started off the lowest point in life, though. I started off the lowest point in life, though.
You just look like you have no audio. I was just trying to hold out. So I was seeing if you were going to talk before me. I couldn't hear anything. So I was like, he hasn't spoken yet. But I wanted to see if I could fool you into thinking I had no audio. All right. What's going on, Fly? Oh, I think you do have no audio. So that's working out perfectly. What it is. We got Fly doing the sign in, sign out. It's just always the way. It's always the way. You just sign in, sign out. Fly's back. Fly's trying to get there. Fly has a very Fly shirt on, by the way, too. Even though we can't hear him, we heard him a second ago behind the scenes here. Yeah, baby. Yeah, baby. I know what you're rocking. He's gonna try it again. I have a Fly shirt on too. It's Words Beats in Life. Shout out to Words Beats in Life. Shout out to everybody else out there watching, waiting for Fly to join me. Let's get rid of this banner. It's hitting my head. You know, I wasn't feeling the head clip. Let's go with this one. Oh, that's higher. But when Fly comes in, that's gonna cover my head up. The little logo. Watch this. It's crazy. Bam! Now I'm covered up. What up, Fly?
All right. Can you hear me now?
We can hear you. You're in there. You know what? I'm going to get rid of that logo in the corner, too, because I don't want to cut off your beautiful head there. Let's
We can put this one on.
now that logo. That's it. When you have that logo, do you really need anything else? You know what I mean? Right there, baby. Where'd you get that crispy shirt? How'd you get that? You must know someone.
Well, you know,
Rocking it, matching it up with the shirt.
I'm plugged.
Oh.
You know?
I brought one of those this morning to give out from the stage, and I forgot to do it for this orientation thing. Yeah, it was. I didn't know what to expect, so I did this orientation. It was UDC. It was UDC asked me to host their orientation, and I was like, should I bring a CD? Someone will have a CD player, and I actually have one in my pocket. I forgot I did when I was doing my giveaways, and I was like, should I do a giveaway? You know how that goes. You know my theory.
Yes, sir.
So, Mass
the benefit of not being a starving artist, bro. You can really sow in.
Yes. Oh, we had that talk too, didn't we? We had that discussion last week in New Orleans. Oh, wait, I didn't say it right. New Orleans. I got to work on my say New Orleans game.
One word, not two words.
New Orleans. I say it with a Boston accent.
If you use one word instead of two words, you get it right every time.
All right, let me hear you do it.
NAWLINS.
Right. I don't think I have the clips on my page of us together. I know I saw some that LD posted. I have one of the ones where I did the night that you were on before me, and but I don't think I have one of us together. But yeah, we're having this discussion. What was your take on New Orleans, man? How'd you like it? I enjoyed the trip very much.
I mean, I enjoyed it, man. It was a good favorite part as always. Just the camaraderie.
Absolutely,
Get the
absolutely.
together, FCB fam together, and really, it's honest. No matter what we do, it's either even if it's just for me, even if it's just one person, I never heard anything like what you do or the way you do it or something like makes it worth it. Because for me, it's definitely like a ministry in a way. That's kind of like the 100 sheep and the 99 and the one kind of mentality that I have. People, whether it's a few or many, I'm always satisfied if I can just enter. So it was good.
Yeah, absolutely. I was singing your songs all week. I was
I know, right?
Yeah, it's funny. This morning when I was doing the yo, that's pro. I was like, they all call pro. I used to have a song called They All Call Lyrical, and so I combine them in my head sometimes. Yo, that's pro. I'm like, yeah, I was trying to make it yo, they call lyrical. And I was actually going through the set that we made because I was doing it online, bringing the audio up, and it was pretty funny because I was like, oh, that's Fly. Oh, that's Fly's instrumental right there. Oh, can't play that one. Don't know the words. Barely know the words of my own, let alone the ones with Fly in them. So
yeah, that was fun, man. That was fun. That was fun.
Someone got a clip up. What do you say?
Well, you get to be. I love the part, man, when you really get to be intimate in that way.
Yeah, absolutely. It's funny too. The next day I got home, I was in the shower and I was like, let me try one time saying these lyrics all the way through to He Prays. And it was like no problem, of course, because it was the next day. I was like, yeah, it was nice. To people who don't know what we're talking about, we were doing some combined sets, and some were long, some were short, and I was like, I don't really know if I know He Prays without like cheat sheets, and it was like, it was like kinda, so I wasn't feeling too confident about it, but did what we had to do. But there's a philosophy to that. Like if you come out, you come out tight. People don't care what you do. You can have the discussion with them after on the third song or whatever. Once you have them, you'd be like, I'm thinking, yeah, I might need to read that third line, right? Which I tell every artist never do, right? And we've had this discussion: never read your lyrics on stage. However, that comes with a grain of salt, meaning like if you know what you're doing, you got it down first couple songs. As long as it's not your first thing, don't come out and be like, hey, I just wrote this poem, I want to read it to you on this crinkled up paper. You know what I mean? That's not the ideal way. So this one I did tomorrow, I'm going to show. I mean tomorrow. This one I did this morning, I'm going to share the screen with you. It's from someone posted it. So this was new students at UDC. Now, from this angle, it kind of looks like there's no one there, but this is a really big auditorium. That's me. I'm still got the same shirt on, rocking the thing here. And I don't know who this is posted it. Well, I do know that it's a new student or whatever, but this is what we have.
No, show them some empathy. The way I empty these more blocks repeatedly, you feel a sense of pride when they say my rhymes repeatedly. The way they feeling me, I feel like a pro. Y'all show me love on the reg. Thanks for letting.
Well, that's all they got because their thing ran out.
But
yeah, and I didn't even know it was behind me for a while. I was like, oh yeah, it's up there behind me. So the whole my whole band lab thing was up there. I was like, oh, that's an interesting visual. I was doing the acapella and the MC into the thing, and I was like, you know what? I think I'm gonna do one of my new singles here, and was jumping through some of the Fly stuff. So I was like, I didn't get into the discussion of that, but that was cool. But what's funny is the whole other side is where all the real people are. And I'm like, you don't have it. It looks like there's 25 people there. In reality, there was like 100. You never know what to expect. Morning orientations for college students, you never know how many are going to show up, but they always need a little bit of oomph in the morning to get them going. So that was at 9:30. So that was fun. So thanks to UDC for having me. Shout out to UDC. Yeah. So we have Hyperion coming out tonight. He is a New Hampshire artist. You may remember we had him way back, way back, and we
Late
Quote and I got to
late
meet him.
20,
Say it again.
late 21. Was this late
Say it again.
early
You're
20?
cutting in and out.
Was this early 2021
Yeah,
when he was on?
yeah. It was, and you can already tell he's better. And it's like he was already good, but he's he was young. You know what I'm saying? When he came on the show, he just turned 16, and so I think he was like previously like 15, like the week before or something. Like when Quo was like, "Yo, we're gonna have fun," and then we did our show up in Manchester. We got to meet him and see him do his thing, and he's a real cool kid. So had him up, and you can tell he's getting better. You can tell he's getting more confident with it. It's like, okay, and you can see the progression, and you're like, okay, this kid's like 17 now. It's funny when you think of that. I heard someone today playing guitar, and they were dope. I mean, real dope, like some ill vibe, like almost like a blues acid rock combo to like, it was like this theme music, and I was like, he was like, some other instrument was playing, and he just came in and followed it, and he was like, yeah, I just made that up. And I was like, bro, how long have you been playing? He's like, 6.5 years. Like, man, and you think about 6.5 years, and think about 6.5 years if you just turned 17 or 18 or 16 or whatever, right? It's like
a big difference from
yeah. You regress back 6.5 years, you were a baby. You know what I'm saying? You were 9, 10, 11 years old, you're a baby. And it's like, I think about, I really, I don't know about you, but I feel like I really started rapping when I was 17. Like I'd been rapping for a long time, but like I really felt like I had arrived. You know what I'm saying? And I hadn't, but I was like, skill level was at a certain spot, right? At 17. By 18, it really was exponential growth from 17 to 18. And by like 21, it was like through the roof compared to what I was, right? Because that's when you're learning your fundamentals and the growth really starts to happen. But I think about 6 years in, from let's say 16, 17 to like 22, 23. And I think about the difference of how I was 22, 23 compared to 16 and 17. But then, I can add a couple decades onto that now. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it's like,
Yeah.
you think about, it's easy to be, I think it's easy for artists who've done what they've done for a long time to forget that, to think about like how long your journey's actually been. So when you see younger talent, and you realize for them, 6 years for them, that can be like 40% of their life. You know what I'm saying? 30, 40% of their life. 30, 40% of my life is gonna be a lot more time than that, right? It's gonna be double or triple that. You know what I'm saying? So when you think of that, and you think of the progression, it's no wonder why somebody, you can see them a year later, you're like, oh my gosh. Me a year later, you're not gonna really tell the difference much. Me 10 years ago, 2 years ago, depending on the day, it could all sound the same. One of the songs you saw me doing, I made in 1998. You know what I'm saying? Like I was doing songs I made last week, and I was doing songs I made in 1998, and you almost can't really tell the difference. Because you hit that certain wall. I mean, in '98, I had been rapping like a decade. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And you just think of that in context. And I'm thinking of the guitar player, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't imagine what he's going to be like when he's got 15 years under his belt. This dude was incredible.
I mean, you nailed it. You nailed it. You nailed it too from that time. So from when I first started rapping, and I thought it was all about one of the things that, because of where I grew up in, lyrical context, that I just always thought what I said was the only thing that mattered. Like you said, I got maybe 20, 21 that I started. Like I was always good, but I didn't always understand like cadence and flow. Yeah. And all of those things that you learn as an artist, right. You realize how, and then you start to develop, kicks in, and you realize that there's a certain tempo that you're best at, and that thing that changes over none of that when you first start. You 15, like I was, like honestly, I remember being in third grade, in trouble in school because I was beating on the desk rapping, and advanced literature programs because I was always good at writing poems and stuff like that. And I said I had no idea. I remember my cousins. We used to cassette player. The play Ray had AM, FM radio on it, and then it had a cassette player in it. But we ice tapes, and I would find them at like the thrift shop. Cassette that I record myself rapping over them. When we started to be able to record on the cassette like, I remember that was the revolution of my time when it came to making music. There, myself rapping, I would just make the beat on the actual radio myself and rap. Man, listen, that cadence and all the other stuff matters. So from that, like you said, that 13 to 16 kind of like maybe 18 to 23, it was like almost like day. Yeah, it was almost
absolutely, yeah. I remember, I mean, it's funny. You hear a lot of people talk about these things, and sometimes I feel like, depending on who the person is, it says they're like, oh, it almost sounds like they're quoting Biggie lyrics. Like, I remember till the tape pops, like I really was in my room making, the tape stop pause songs every day. Like, I mean, I would get every single cassette I have, and I'd wait for the like the blast noise or whatever, And I remember I had my 7A3. I mean, really dating myself, right? I had Breeze Ever Flowing, Big Daddy Kane, Public Enemy, Audio 2, Biz Marquee, KRS-One, MC Shan, Salt and Pepper, JJ Fad. Like, I mean, I am ahead. You know what I'm saying? It's like I don't often talk about it. I don't often, because a lot of times it's like, hey, it just kind of gets lost in the shuffle. But it's like, I had, at the time, a lot of my close friends, we had so many cassettes. It was ridiculous. We couldn't wait to go to the store to get the new stuff. We'd be cutting out of school early to go to the store to get the stuff. And then when we got in that same store while we were in high school, it was crazy for us, So then you start going more and more, and that kind of puts you on this little pedestal or whatever. And now it's like you got credibility in the stores and the record stores, and now you're waiting to see your titles out in there, and it's addictive. It was like the social media of our day, going to the see what the new releases were. You know what I'm saying? And I can remember those days vividly, like what those cassettes would be. And so you would know every second of the tape. Like, you would know where the best breaks are, right? And then, I had my tables by the time I was like 17, 18. I had turntables in my room, Techniques or whatever. And, I'd get better ones as I went on, and the speakers and the mixers and all that kind of stuff. And I would just, like a lot of us, we would do everything, like to the point where it's funny now. Sometimes you see artists and they'll think like, oh, I'm the MC. And what up, Hyperion? I see him in the back room. They'd be like, oh, I MC. And it's like, you might forget, or you might not know that, like, a lot of times the MC was doing everything in those days. Like, maybe you had a DJ in your group, maybe you were fortunate enough to have a beatbox or whatever. But it was like, yo, you were making the tapes, you were making the dubs, you were making the flyers, you were going to the store, the one finding out where it is, hunting down instrumentals, whatever it was. And almost nobody made beats when I first started. It's like nobody made beats. You find like 2 or 3 people that made beats. Now it's like everybody makes beats, right? And for the last 20 years, it's been like everybody makes beats, right? And I'll try to explain that to rappers. Like, I get this dude, he emails me once a week, probably like 30 beats, right? And they're all like, they're okay. You know what I'm saying? They're nothing bad. He's got every style and every kind of thing. And I really appreciate the fact that he sends it to me, right? But it's like, dude, I'm going to pick like one beat, right? And you want to explain it. You want to say, I literally have beats from hundreds of people who make beats. Like, my inbox is full of people making beats, because a lot of people, right? Time goes by, people hear your work and they're like, hey, I want you to rap on something. But you don't have enough time in your life to possibly rap on all those beats. But back in the day, it was like, it's like an oasis compared to a desert. It's kind of like, back then it was like, if you found someone who made beats, that had to become your best friend. That was like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that would be best friend. Because usually that was the only thing the rappers weren't doing, usually, was making their own beats. And I had stuff in my room, studio equipment, all that kind of stuff too, but I wasn't like thorough at making beats, So it was like, yo, let me find someone who does that. And when you did, or if they had a studio, it was like a legit studio. It's like you'd be there, 24/7. It's just funny because it's evolved to where there are just so many, that it's like literally you could go outside and you could almost like yell out loud at you, hey, does anyone make beats? And there'll be someone down the street, within arm shot who makes beats. And it's like, back in the day, you had to kind of do everything. And the only thing maybe you didn't do was make beats. Maybe you did. And it was so vital to find those people, you know, and it's difficult to communicate that sometimes, to be like, do you know how hard it was to actually, you know, find someone who was really thorough with their beat making or even just their DJing, if they could double copy and hold a live showdown, you know, and it was just crazy in that particular way. Now it's to the point where it's like, I cannot possibly rap on all the beats I have. I couldn't do it in a lifetime. And I churn out a lot of stuff that no one ever hears too. And it's like, I couldn't, you know,
Yeah.
at this pace, it's like
It's
doing like
way
3 a
too
day
much.
sometimes. It's like,
No, man, I mean, that's the truth, man. I guess we did kind of have a lot of challenges. A little older than I am, barely, but I think the challenges I
flight away
faced
too.
when I finally
Flight
started.
away too.
Can you hear?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I think
We
one of
got
the challenges.
a Hyperion request. When is Hyperion coming on? He's coming up. He's coming up. Hold up.
I see.
We will not keep him in purgatory forever. We will have him out of here. But what were you saying?
One of the challenges I face, and it's gonna be interesting to kind of hear Hyperion kind of maybe segue, but I'm interested in hearing some of his challenges, and so we're kind of different generations. And so my challenge is when I first started recording music, so that there wasn't a lot of people that made beats. There were more people that made beats. There were accessible. Actually, we became best friends because of that very reason, like you said.
Yeah.
He actually taught me how to produce. So I went through this big producing phase because, again, there was just quality producers, and I got tired of waiting on people to find people to produce. And just
Absolutely.
very expensive until Fruity Loop came, bro. Really, Fruity Loop changed everything.
Right.
It really did.
Right.
It made beat making easy and accessible,
Yep.
really, for anybody.
Yep.
Right?
And
So,
that's really when it kicked in. When Fruity Loops happened,
that's when
it was like all of a sudden
remember-
there were a lot of producers around, you know?
I remember,
There
bro.
were
I
a lot of producers around.
always wanted to rap and never wanted to be a producer, but I always with the fact that I have nobody to produce me. I'm gonna produce myself. Fruity Loop came out, and that was my challenge. Was that and recording was expensive, man. And especially
Absolutely. Yeah.
I guess we started to kind of get into that phase where studio equipment was, but then it became even harder to really get something that was quality. So if you were recording at home,
Yeah.
But that completely changed now for like like artists like Hyperion. Like you can master stuff right in the comfort of your bedroom and record.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, that's a beautiful thing. And you know, like we said, and like in his case, you can hear the progression. You know what I'm saying? You can hear the progression, and that's what you hope for, because it's like, you know, cats aren't sitting around on their hands and just be like, oh, you know, I made this dope track a couple months ago. It's like, all right, what are you doing a couple months from now? You know, and people want to see growth. People expect growth. You know, and I think especially in younger artists, like you're always looking for like, okay, are they going to turn this corner? Are they going to turn this corner? Are they going to come into their identity? What are they about? You know, that's the exciting part. I always think that's exciting with artists when you get to kind of watch them kind of mature, grow up in it, and see where they take it, and then what kind of spin they put on it. Because, you know, I say this too, and I think it's true almost your entire career, but there's a point at which, let's put the math word in there, the inflection point at which you totally know what your identity is in terms of where your strong suit is and when you're in your pocket. You know, people talk about being in the pocket, but it's like being in your pocket sometimes. And when you're in your pocket, I'll liken it to shooting. It's like when you're on the court, and it's like when you know the ball is in and you're confident and you know the spot you want to get to, you're like, don't let me get to that spot. You let me get to that spot, it's going to be a long day for you. You know, it's the same thing on the mic. And when you're in the studio, you're like, don't let me get in that groove, in that pocket, because now I'm in my pocket. And, you know, when you have that feeling, when you hit that as an artist, is a confidence level that kind of comes, and then you can kind of work on putting your spin. It's when you get to the point where you've put your spin on it and it's yours. It's no longer so much the imitation, you know, and everything's imitation. The way we speak, the way we talk, the way we dress. People don't acknowledge that enough. Like everything we learn as humans, as social animals, is imitation. there's really not that much that is unique. So when you get to a point of artistry when you can start putting something unique on it, that's when it's exciting. And I think that's when people sometimes have a difficult time enunciating, like, what is it about, like, when you go to a show and you see a new artist that's exciting? It's not just the first time you see him, you want to see him again. And what you're doing is you're actually watching growth over time, and you're like, yo, I want to see the progression. I used to, my man, Neo Matrix, he's a dude who does a lot of like graphics. Shout out to Neo from Cambridge, Massachusetts. And he was doing like, he's like an everything guy in hip hop, except a rapper, right? He was doing everything, did a lot of work for me, everything from covers to flyers to internet kind of stuff, websites, right? And just, he was really dope with computers at a young age, right? He was like that kid at like 17, and now he's like, 35 or something like that, right? And I would talk to him, I'd say, yo, I'm interested to see the Neo curve, and for him, it was like the curve. I used to talk about the exponential growth. He was like, dude, he'd call me up, he'd be like, yo, curve is crazy right now. And he would get excited by it because he could actually chart and see his own growth. And I think that's the exciting part with a lot of artists for me. At least it is for me. It's the thing that gets me excited. So, that's what I love seeing. What up, Epi? So speaking of which, speaking of curves, speaking of growth, we are going to bring in the man of the hour, Hyperion. He's got some new music, got a new album. I think we're going to play a little bit of it and get some joints on, see what he's up to. So, ladies and gentlemen, New Hampshire's own Hyperion.
What's good?
What up? What's going on,
going?
sir? Good to see you again. Good. Yeah. Did you meet Fly? I don't know if you met Fly.
I haven't met Fly, actually.
What's up, Hype?
Fly?
Yeah. How's it going, man?
Man, Fly's the man. Fly is the co-pilot. I met Fly through Quo, and Quo was like, yo, there's this guy, Fly, you got to hear. He's got to be on the album. And I was like, really? He's got to be on the album? You know what I mean? And he was like, no, you got to trust me, bro. He's like, trust me. So he played me like 30 seconds of his video, and I was doing like 20 things. And I'm looking at the video, and I'm like, all right, video's cool. I was like, oh, yeah, he definitely can rap, And he was like, you don't seem like as excited as me. And I'm like, there's a lot of people who rap, bro. I don't know him. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't feel like I know him. You only let me hear like 20 seconds of music. He's like, dude, trust me. And Quo doesn't like just anybody anyways, So he's like, in terms of lyricism, like we have a lot of talks offline. Like he's the nicest guy in the world, likes everybody as humans. You know what I'm saying? But he was like, he was not that's not how he is with artists. He's like, he's immortal. That's what he would say. And I would say, bro, I was like, this Fly guy, he might just be immortal too. You might just like really like his personality. He's like, trust me, bro, you got to hear more. And I was like, all right, cool. I'll give it another listen when I get you. Then I heard a second joint, and I was like, oh, wow, yeah, okay, I see what you're talking about. And I was like, I'd be interested to see what he could do on a beat like that we're doing, And he's like, bro, he's like, trust me. So this beat, Freedom Corner, the beat that we have, was the first thing that I really heard him on. And I heard him on it, and I was like, who is this dude? This dude is a Jedi ninja. And I was like, so that's Fly. And so Fly's on the same label as ours. And so he's the man, the myth, the legend, Fly Hyperion. And
Fly, it's good to see you here.
Like, listen, this is the perfect place to be because Pro is an absolute legend. And, this is training ground. Especially, man, you're gonna learn a lot from this man, especially on the artist level, for him being in the game, man. So, show, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So we came off some shows last week in New Orleans, which was real cool. We got to do like 3 or 4 shows together, which was real dope. And I was already telling him, I was like, yo, this cat Hyperion's going to come up. I don't know if you actually got a chance to meet him, but I was talking about the growth and the curve, and you might have heard a little bit of what we're saying, man. And so I can hear the growth already. So for people who haven't heard Hyperion before, you're New Hampshire-based artists. How would you describe your sound, bro?
Man, I would describe myself as like a little bit of like a mixture of kind of like boom bap and soulful kind of music. I try and spread a message for people to pursue their dreams, stay positive, because that's something I feel like people should live by, because it helps me personally get through goals that I want to push through in life, and be able to just constantly grow and achieve as a person, as an artist. And also I think that regardless if people aren't making music, they can still apply this to their life and be able to, be successful by following that message.
No doubt, no doubt. And for you, like you've been rhyming now, how long? How long would you say you've been at it in
I've
your young
been
life? What are you,
making.
17?
I'm 16.
16. All right. So I'm aging you already. And by the way, you could get in a bar. I mean, you could pass for like,
Oh,
especially
I
with the
bet.
little stash going, like the
Yeah, I
glass.
think. Yeah,
You look like you work for a software company and you've been there for 2 or 3 years and you're trying to, figure out, is the 401k here going to be good enough? I don't know if I really care yet. Maybe I just want the salary. You know what I mean? Like you might
yeah,
jump, might not, So
yeah.
I got you for like 21, 22 easy. So just saying.
Hey, I take that as a compliment personally.
Are they
But
carding you? Are they carding you when you go to rock the clubs? Are they like, hey, or are they just
no,
like
they aren't actually. Surprisingly,
telling you,
not. Yeah,
telling you?
it's the stash,
Um,
man.
yeah, absolutely. I'm gonna do a show with you. I'm gonna be like, that's my older manager, and
They'll believe you too. That's the
I
crazy
hope
part.
so. I
Yeah,
hope so.
yeah.
I was trying to get by as Fly's manager a couple times. I was like, Fly, my dream is to somebody to ask me from your manager. That would be it, and that absolutely is
Nothing.
exciting. So that's cool, man. That's cool. But
Yeah.
16, that's crazy. So when did you start exactly?
I started writing raps actually in like October of 2019, and
Mm,
it was
mm.
yeah, it was a weird time, but I was in 8th grade, or no, 7th grade, I think. Yeah, and
It's crazy.
crazy. And I like my favorite artist still to this day, Logic. He put out this beat tape before he went on tour for his like Confessions of a Dangerous Mind tour,
Right,
and it
right.
was this beat called Ultra Violent, and it was like a beat for rappers to rap on for free, and it had like his verse included in it. And I was like, this is my time to prove myself and see if
Absolutely.
this is what
Right.
I want to do.
Can
So
I can I can I hang with Mr. Logic? Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
so
I didn't know for years. This is how slow I was. I had no idea that he was half black and half white. No idea. Right?
really,
To me,
yeah.
he's the whitest looking multiracial. Like the percent looks like 95-5.
Yeah,
Right?
no,
It's
really.
it's like I get asked that question sometimes. You know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah,
like he looks like meat. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, yo, bro, like that was crazy for me. So,
it is.
Flies laughing. So I was kind of shocked, right? I was like, oh, okay, I had no idea. And the knocks I was hearing on him a lot of times, I would hear like, yeah, he's like an Eminem knockoff. So it just added to it. You know what I mean? People be like, oh, he's just trying to be like, and you hear that all the time about anybody who's of the more pasty variety. If they happen to rap fast, they're always going to get. I've been in that league too.
Yeah,
Like you're gonna get the comparison's gonna happen. Like, bro, I sound nothing like Eminem, and I'll rap in a club set, and people will be like, "Yo, bro, you sound just like Eminem." It's like, do I really, or do I look like him? You know what I'm saying? Like, what are you trying to say? But skill wise, and again, kind of like an Eminem, like skill wise, you can't really deny either one of them. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
It's like skill. It's like
absolutely. They're both
I think
talented in
Jordan
their own
Lucas
way.
recognized that, right? It's like
Yeah.
I think Jordan Lucas is like, I'm coming with my A game. I'm getting on track with this young man. You know what I'm saying?
Speaking of Joyner
So
Lucas, kind of funny. So, like, I've been told by friends at school and whatnot that like I sound like Logic if Logic and Joyner Lucas had a kid and they were a
wow,
rapper, or like
wow.
Jack Harlow
Hold
and
on to that
Logic.
one.
So yeah,
Hold
it's
on to
kind of
that one.
crazy. So
That's one to have somebody do, like when you're doing like Yelp. You want to review, be like, review me in Yelp like a restaurant. Put that in there. That's some good company right there, my friend.
yeah, so
Yes, sir. What's and Fly, I don't mean to hog all the time here. Don't feel like you can't jump in on here as well. But the
Dialogue, man. I'm actually impressed by this young man for a 16-year-old man.
see,
Just,
right?
you know how I feel about. I know how I feel in music. I mean, I guess we definitely share that. That I'm happy that he's a good human. Pro will say this in a minute. He don't like jerky boys, man. And so for me, artistry is always secondary to being an extraordinary human being. And so,
yeah,
the success of whatever you put your mind, your man, it's gonna be good, man. University.
Absolutely. And I didn't know if that was going to put me over there or you guys. Oops, sorry about that. moving you guys around. That's me. Hi. There they are. I was trying to get to
That's
the.
that's
I
good.
was trying
Yeah.
to get to that window as well. Um, yeah, and it looks like he's at Quo's house, doesn't it? Looks.
Yeah,
Oh,
Looks
back
like he
yeah,
yeah.
stole, it's like he stole Quo's living room. I mean, minus the clock. It's shout out to Quo. Yo, it kind of looks like he's in like on the adjoining room. Let me ask you this, man. I got a lot of friends who are part of the New Hampshire hip hop scene, Quo being one of them included, and a lot of other folks, Fee and the affiliates, done a track, Cody Pope, some folks up there, right? There's a lot of talent in New Hampshire. Are you frequenting the spots now that COVID's out, and are you connecting and building with some of the fellow New Hampshire peers up there? Like, what's the for people that aren't from New England, let alone New Hampshire? Said that in reverse order, but what is the scene like up there? And is there a scene, and do you feel that it's viable for somebody like yourself?
So personally, I think that there's a lot of slept on talent in New England
He just
and
said that too.
even
I'm going to put his comment there, by the way. If you're not,
yeah, a
comments
lot
come in
of
from all over the spot, but I got to try to pay attention. So shout out to Fee.
absolutely. And there's just a lot of like slept on talent in New Hampshire and New England, especially. Just some artists that I could like name off the top of my head is like Illiton. He's been my
Right.
mentor throughout the years and stuff.
He's
He's
dope.
really
Yeah.
got a different sound. Tay Uno, I don't know if you
Amazing as a
guys have heard.
producer and just amazing as an MC. He's
Yeah.
really equally talented and really both.
I mean, the best thing about him is he's just like a man of all arms. Like he can produce, engineer, and also like record his own music on his own without any help, which is really something that people look out for in the industry. So
Absolutely.
him and as I said before, Tate Uno, he's a tattoo artist that
I know him.
is in New
Yeah.
Hampshire, and he's
Real dope.
got his like sound down, and it's just so good. I love his sound.
He's a beast. He's a beast. He really is.
Yeah.
He's really nice. Yeah.
Definitely want to work with him whenever I get the chance to.
I know Fee knows him too. Do you know Fee?
It sounds
we just
he
put a-
sounds familiar.
So we were in a group together called Excalibur for years, and he's Fee the Evolutionist, and his project was, he calls it Fee and the Affiliates, and we did a track called Beats Over Beats, and a lot of MCs on there, and he and Ruby, they live together and they make music together, and they've been doing this stuff forever. So she sings and he obviously raps, and he's a percussionist, a drummer as well, and all that kind of stuff. So he definitely knows a lot of the same people. He knows all the people you just mentioned as well. He knows Tayuna. I think Tayuna lives like right down the street from him. He's in
Oh,
Nashville.
no way. Yeah,
At
that's
least where he,
actually funny.
yeah, at least where he last did. So, because I was talking to Fee about him too, and he was like, "Dude, he's a beast too. Yeah, he's a problem.
Yeah. Also,
Vocal
like,
quality is premium for him. Really nice
yeah.
with a good story. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. So I mean, it's promising, right? It's I get on New Hampshire all the time. I mean, I'll be honest. I get on New Hampshire all the time because being in Massachusetts, it was always like you'd go just over the border, but you wouldn't go deep. You know, you'd be like, I
Yeah.
could tolerate maybe Nashua, maybe go to Manchester, right? And it's like, what else is there? Maybe some people be like Laconia or whatever in the summer. Outside of that, I mean, I know Concord's the capital, but it's like, is there anything in Concord? You know, I don't know. You know,
I feel
so
like
I
I'm
just
the
figure
really,
it's difficult.
yeah. I'm like the only, I feel like, artist that I've heard of that's like in Concord that's like really
Right.
have
It's
like
like,
noise
is
right
there
now.
anything there, bro? Is it like, I know there's a pizza place that I've eaten at, you know what I'm saying? Like on the way back from a college show I was doing, I was like, I stopped there. They had like a buffet pizza kind of thing right in the little middle of the city, town square, or whatever.
New
I was like, is there
Brunswick, man.
anything there for you?
There's
Like,
a
you
habitat.
can't. Yeah, I mean, it's like a lot of people, they want to be, you know, like the big dog in their city. You know, it's like, is being the big fish in Concord, is that like something, is that viable and is that meaningful? Or is it like,
I
you
mean,
gotta
it
have
really,
fair sites?
it really is because like
Okay.
my high school, you know, they are so supportive. All the teachers, like the higher ups in the school district that know about me, you know, they go out of their way to make me have opportunities for the school
Dope.
and be able to do things for all of my peers and stuff that attend to the school. Like just before the last week of school, the first week of June, I believe it was, they had me perform at Memorial Field, which was pretty dope for the whole entire like high school. And I was there all day. I got to excuse myself from the classes that I had to go to normally.
Always a
And
plus. Always a plus.
yeah, and like all the teachers were there. Everybody was turning up. It was a good time. And yeah, it was an honor. So
That's dope, man.
yeah.
Getting support anywhere you can get it is difficult. You know what I'm saying? Whatever you can build as a foundation is valuable, and a lot of them will stick with you. Speaking of which, like this one right here, right? We want to
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
right?
Shout out
Absolutely,
to Trixie. So
absolutely. That's dope. That's dope to get that kind of support. So, what's the new project about? Tell us about the new project. I know you got a new album, and heard a couple of the tracks, and already really liked one of them, as I was telling you about.
yeah, this whole entire album, being called The Rise Up, it was just like really dope to be able to create an album talking about being on the come up as an artist and uh be able to make such a variety of music that still is cohesive in a sense where, all the tracks are different, but they still make sense and the order that they're in. And, the bars are meaningful and they don't like just have like they're not just filler and they're there for a reason and people can go through and listen and then like be able to pull out things and be able to just listen to like one song and enjoy that one song but also be able to listen to the whole album together and enjoy that as well. So
Bro, we
yeah, I think he's muted.
I absolutely am. My son put in, and I'm not blaming my son because I definitely did that. My son put on these little. He's like, "Daddy, I'm gonna take your mouse and I'm gonna take all three buttons and I'm gonna program it for you, right?" So now when I'm not careful, I hit my mouse and I'm like, I'm opening my Google, right, and which is amazing, right? But I forget that it's there sometimes, and then I get carried away. But in any event, I think let me reverse what I was just saying. I was asking you, do you have any help? Like, are you a one man show? Do you got like family helping you, friends? I know you said people are supportive, but do you got people on the business side trying to help you out, the music side? What's good with that?
So as of right now, I'm just an independent artist, but on the sideline, I have people that I have work for me that I, pay to be able to help make my things happen. So I have like my engineer, his name is Charlie Mixwell. He's done
Good
stuff
name.
for Tay Uno and also he's done stuff for J-Zac, that's from Mass, I believe, or New Hampshire, something like that. But he actually like recorded, I think, one of his projects in the same studio that I recorded The Rise Up in Wyndham, at Pomegranate Studios. And
If
it
someone's
was
making
just,
popcorn in the back, tell them to stop. Sounded like someone was going on the microwave. So I don't know if that was you or it could have been Fly. I'm not sure, but it
oh, I
sounded
don't
like
even
someone
know.
was.
All right.
I was hearing the noises. It was throwing me
Yeah.
off. Sorry.
Okay. Um, but yeah, so basically I have him and I have like a little handful of producers, but mainly I have my main producer, his name is Word, and also his real name is like Zach West, but he lives in Florida. I believe near like Tampa. I could be wrong. Word, if you're watching this, I'm sorry, but he he's like my main producer and he just like his sound of production is exactly what I'm looking for and exactly what I aspire to be able to do once I'm able to produce on my own, which I have been learning how to do slowly through classes in school.
Right.
And also, I have my man, Zach James. He makes all my music videos, and there is a little bit of like BTS stuff coming from the making of the album that he recorded while we're in the studio sessions. So, them three primarily, and you could say Illiton, my mentor, was able to make the album happen because of his mentorship and just basically teaching me how the game works. So yeah,
Dope.
so
Absolutely. I was tempted to go Word, but I stayed away. He probably lives in Tallahassee, by the way. He's probably in Tallahassee, and he's like, "What's this dude saying, Tampa?"
yeah,
I
probably.
was just kidding. He's like, "Bro, I'm in Tallahassee. I'm in
Kid's only
Orlando. What are you doing?"
19. Like he is
Only
talented for
19.
his age.
So he's like a sixth older than you.
Yeah, essentially.
He's 16% older than you are.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Only 19. So what do you say when someone's 16? They're happy, like only 16, right?
Well,
Um,
okay, so he
I was
actually
awful at 16. I just got to be honest. I was awful. I thought I was great. I was awful. Just throwing it out.
Yeah, so he actually is like into Logic and stuff like I am, which is why I like his production style. But Logic actually like went live one day and I guess found one of his beats on YouTube through his like YouTube channel and like rapped up like did a freestyle over it. And the beat was called Stars Collide and it was like super dope and like intricate. And that's actually how I found out about him because I was on that live stream when he did that. And so then from there, I went to his YouTube channel, hit him up, and one of the songs that I actually sent you through the email has
The round table joint.
the round table joint. That's the first ever beat that I bought from him. So yeah,
Word. I think we're gonna run that track if you don't mind. Can we run that?
yeah,
track?
yeah. Let's run
Let's
it.
let's hit that out. So one more time on the producer's name.
His name is Word.
Word. WORD. Word. All right.
Yeah.
So we're gonna try to get that one. Give me 1 second here. I think I got that one ready. It's gonna look a little funny, but it's gonna sound good. Here we go. Word. Hyperion.
Hey, yo. Round table of rhymes, motherfucker. We about to turn up in this bitch.
Assemble the round table.
Let's get it. Yo. Round table of rhymes, round table of. Round table of rhymes, a round table of. A round table of rhymes, a round table of rhymes, a round table of. A round table of rhymes, a round table of. A round table of rhymes, a round table of rhymes, a round table of. A round table of rhymes. Man, it's the round table. About to be signed up on the label. No longer independent, I cut the cable. Bouncing rhymes no longer stable. Got a lot on my plate, can no longer serve. I feel the pressure and the urgency. In the cut, hopefully not getting surgery. Murder, argue rappers like it's third degree. In the subway too long, it's concerning me. Everything before the ride a blur to me. Meeting new people, adding like currency. Shut the fuck up, listen, dog, take a seat. The industry popping, I'm never stopping. Hopping on verses, I gotta drop it. Best in my class, you can never top it. Speaking the truth, right as I step into the booth. With the dogs sitting in my youth. Working with talent, I got the proof. Name I'm displaying in industry, got me slanging. Feel free to stay and they sleeping and laying. Hot as the sun, got bars for fun. Love music a ton, stick to my guns, I get it done. Round table of rhymes, round table. Round table of rhymes, a round table of. A round table of rhymes, a round table of rhymes, a round table of. A round table of rhymes, 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 a round table of. A round table of rhymes. Spin the round table, homie, get down. Change the flow, bring it around. Up and down, you're hearing the sound. See the stage and imagine the crowd. Coming back with my return. Up and with the second turn. Bridges burn, live and learn. Yeah, attain the skill, shoot the kill, never chill. This is not a drill. Since the beginning, I've grown. From the start, I became known. Pull the trigger to the tone. Bust the cat when you don't. Yeah. Up and down the beat, drumming. Records keep them bumping. Turn this beat into a little something. All this money got me frontin' woke. And they sleeping on me, broke. And they hating on me, choking. And they creeping on me. Yeah, I'm about to blow up like a ticking time bomb. Discography mad long. I can spit a whole entire recipe. Making it would be a blessing, G. Don't care about the artist till it's recipes. Fake ass motherfuckers just be testing me. Round table of rhymes, a round table. Round table of rhymes, a round table of. A table of rhymes, a round table of rhymes, a round table of. A round table of rhymes, 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 a round table of rhymes.
Hyperion. Round table of rhymes, baby. Came with
Yes,
the bars,
sir.
bro.
Absolutely.
Nice work. You are a bit of a throwback. That's definitely true. You definitely have some, and I think that's true to the area. You know, I think there's a lot of MCs in the area in New England that are still bar focused and don't get too crazy with it. But I'm sure as the production changes, I'm sure you can be comfortable switching it up, doing whatever you got to do on those beats. But I appreciate it. Appreciate hearing that.
For sure.
Yeah, bro.
Who did this?
What was it? A little choppy there. What do you say? Who did the scratches?
I said, what? Did someone do the scratches on it or what?
That was actually a plugin that my engineer Charlie Mixwell found on this software that he used to engineer the album, and it was like on accident that we actually found this plugin, and it just like totally changed the whole sound of that track. So it was a good accident in that case. So yeah.
I was gonna say I had a feeling that was don't tell them all your secrets. Don't tell them all. Don't let them know all your secrets. No, that was dope.
Yeah. So
Absolutely. With a group called XCal too, I'm always open to round table. You know, I'm like, yo, round table always gets it going. The so when I hear you, it's tough to place who you sound like. It's at least on tracks that I've heard. You know, it's which is what I like. You know, you like to. That's what I was talking about earlier. It's like as artists start coming into who they might be. You know, in terms of like how they're letting their personality shine and their style shine through. I say a lot of times people will be like, "Yo, you sound like," and I'm like, "Yeah, but wait till you hear the third track." You know what I'm saying? Wait till
yeah,
you,
exactly.
that's what the track dictated. You know, I'll sound like what I, you know, we all have a little range of where we're comfortable, and it's like, but on the far left to the far right of that, you might sound like two different people. You know,
Yeah.
and I do hear the difference from track to track. Like I definitely on your other track, which we'll try to run as well too. You can actually hear the difference. You can hear what, and you should. You know, feeling good. It's a little bit of a different vibe, and it comes through in your personality. You know, and that's I think I like that. I like when I hear it isn't like a person comes in premeditated, like this is how I must rap on every track. You know,
Yeah.
that actually
I
gets
try and
old.
change it up every time. So
Yeah, it gets old. I don't care who the MC is. It's like if you can think of an MC that sounds the same on every track, you're probably not a huge fan of that. If there's no wiggle, I mean, the counter to that argument is someone like DMX, right? Like DMX pretty much did sound the same, but he's so unique that it's like, yo, don't stray too
Like,
far from what we got. You
yeah.
know what I mean? But like a Ja Rule, it's funny how Ja Rule pops up in your head with DMX, but they're two people who sound like themselves 100,000% of the time on every track. Whereas you hear a lot of MCs and it's like, they can switch it up. You know, Logic is one of them. You know, Logic, he can sound like three different people too.
Mhm.
They got calling cards, but you know, it's nice when you can adapt to the track. So back to the business side, you said, I know you were talking about the support of the high school and everything like that too, but so you're just trying to figure it out as you go. So is that something you're looking for? You're trying to find like people to help you on like management stuff or publicity,
Um,
A&R? What are you trying to do?
I'm definitely trying to like just be able to build my own team,
Right.
because I would love to be able to be in control of what I do without being signed to a label. You know, I really believe nowadays in the modern day industry, it is very doable to be able to be an independent artist and become successful without a label behind your back.
Mm-hmm.
As long as you make the right moves in order to build the correct people and develop a team that can correlate and work together well, I feel like that's the key to being able to do what
Sure.
you want to do. So
What would then successful mean to you? What would that look like?
successful to me would be being able to make a living off of what I dream of doing and to be able to inspire others to do the same for themselves, to be able to have the courage and uh, you know bravery to just take a risk in being able to do what they love because they believe in it, not just because they were forced into working a 9 to 5 or something like that.
Yeah. Right. What else does Hyperion love?
As
You say
far as like,
Hyperion. You say Hyperion normally when you're talking.
I just say Hyperion, but
Okay, I
I
wasn't
leave it
sure
up
if you
to
put a little
everybody. Yeah,
schwa in it when you talk. Okay, cool.
little schwa.
So, so what is Hyperion love outside too? I'm talking outside of hip hop.
Outside of hip hop, man, I love me some like, traveling. I love being able to uh what else do I like doing? Man, I really have been focusing on like a lot of music lately. Just
So you're not
because
catching up on Netflix? You telling me you're not watching like Stranger Things? Like you're not.
that's the only thing. Okay, that
All
is the
right,
only thing.
all right, cool. So you're human. All right, so
Yeah, I'm human
hey,
to an
bro, I said the
extent.
same thing. I'm talking about all this busyness, and I'm like, but I am finished with Stranger Things.
Yeah. I
Series
also
is so good.
I'm
What are people
definitely
doing
like
if they're not watching that? It's like, what are you
yeah,
doing? What are you
yeah,
doing?
exactly.
That's all my son
For
talks
real.
about. He's 15, and he's crazy. Just like they
Wait a
dropped the
minute. Does that mean
series,
you're not watching it, Fly? You're not watching Stranger Things?
and now
Did we not have this discussion?
me and him, it's like he and I kind of organically interested in Stranger Things. I'm just not.
Gotcha. We'll
Yeah.
let it pass because you're a good dude. Otherwise,
Exactly.
But I have seen thus far. I'm more of a sports kind of. I turn on some series like All American kind of things more than sci-fi, even though I enjoy sci-fi. But I never really got into Moonlight and
Miss Marvel. I'm a Marvel.
that
I mean, I'm a
in the
little bit over the top.
Same.
the whole
Right
comic,
here.
the
Yeah.
whole
What'd you think?
comic,
What'd you think of the finale? You feeling the
I hadn't
finale?
seen the finale.
I thought it was crazy.
Did you
I
stay
thought
for
it
the
was-
end? Did you stay for the end credits?
Oh yeah, I did.
All right, cool. I mean, we knew that was coming, right?
Yeah, we did. We did.
Fly, we don't want any spoilers here, bro. We don't want any spoilers, but and you know what else we watch a lot over here at the Professor Lyrical household? You know, we are definitely a Star Wars family. My son was downstairs sneaking before he could get to bed watching Clone Wars. You know, he's on like his 4th episode in 2 days. You know, so he's like he's 9. You know, he's like, "Hey, Daddy, I'm gonna put myself to bed." I'm like, so he has the Switch and he's watching Clone Wars.
What
The
a creative
monster
way
I
to
created.
watch Clone Wars.
Oh my goodness, he did. Yeah, he's definitely. I mean, I know what he's doing. He's like, "Daddy, how do you know?" And I'm like, because I think exactly the same way you do. Like, I'm like, I would be watching Star Wars on my Switch right now. Yeah, Star Wars guy. Are you Star Wars guy, Hyperion?
Hell yeah. I love the Obi-Wan TV show that just came
Oh my
out and
gosh.
finished up. That was a masterpiece of a TV
Oh my
show.
gosh.
Well put
Don't even get
together.
me started.
Yeah.
I think. I mean, the last 2 episodes rival anything that's ever happened in Star Wars ever. I mean, like the last episode, to me, and I get so upset by the purists who can't just acknowledge dope when it's dope. It's
Yeah,
just
me too.
it's-
Dude.
dude, it's dope. Are you kidding
It's
me?
so dope.
Are you kidding me? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm a Star Wars hardcore traditionalist, right? But I can acknowledge that the last episode of Obi-Wan, the last 10 minutes of Obi-Wan were arguably the greatest 10 minutes you've seen, maybe since Luke showing up in The Mandalorian. I mean, and that was epic, right?
That
And
was
it's like,
epic.
you could argue this was better, you know? And I think you'd have a valid point.
Apart from Book of Boba Fett, Mandalorian, and Obi-Wan, like I've always been a prequel person, and maybe that's because of the time that I was born in, the 2000s. So,
Right.
But I've always loved episode.
So for
3.
you getting to see Hayden Christensen, I mean, it's got to be crazy. It's just
Yeah,
gotta be
man.
crazy.
It it brought like tears to my eye, and it was just like an emotional, like kind of comeback. And I think the nostalgia kind of had to do with the emotional connection to that TV show and how I felt the whole time. But yeah.
So you can imagine the old timers like me when we're seeing Luke come back, right? It's
Yeah.
just like, are you kidding me? I was definitely doing this when Luke when I saw the X-wing go by, I started doing this. I was like, oh my god! I'm like, everyone's like, what's going on? Nothing. I'm good over here. I'm good.
That scene where he
the best scene of my life. Yeah.
Yeah, that scene where he like
Ridiculous.
came through to like save the day. I saw this YouTube video and it was like the I Need a Hero song in the background while he was just like, slaying the like droids and shit away. And it was hilarious.
Yeah,
But-
it was. And it's just like that's the only gripe that a lot of us have. It's like, why didn't you give that to us in any of the original canon? It's like just you had opportunity, especially in the last 3 films. You could have done this, and it was just like because I understand the whole JJ Ryan thing, but the little piss and match, whatever you want to call that, but it's just unfortunate that happened because it's like they could have had some consistency or whatever. But hey, I'm happy. You know what
Me
I'm saying?
too.
It's like the funny part. Here's the funny part, right? All right, and Fly, I don't want to get too off in the Star Wars syndrome here. I don't mean to have you over there. Fly's like feeling like third wheel on a date here. Fly's like, man, come on, man.
It's like man, y'all almost in bed together, bro. What is going on here?
Yeah. But I'm just saying, like when Luke's fighting Kylo Ren, right? And you clearly saw the way they could have projected Luke. They could have
Oh, yeah.
easily made Luke look younger, cooler, and still deadly, right? But they didn't do it, and that's what people. It's like, yo, you did it in this scene, sort of. He
Yeah.
was bad. He was kicking butt, sort of. And then you turned it into a hologram projection, whatever. And it's like, give us like 5 minutes more of that, and everyone would have had to shut up. You could have had everybody, and we
Yeah.
could have gotten that scene in the current him. You know what I'm saying? And it's like there's no reason they couldn't do that. And
Yeah.
and that's what pissed people off. It was like, that's what, just give them 5 minutes of it. Disney kind of gets that in the long form. They're like, hey, the Mandalorian, they get that. They're like, let's explore things, let's do it. But it's just like, you could have done it over here. So that's frustrates people.
Yeah.
I know
think,
we're going off in Star Wars geekdom, but it can happen.
yeah, I think my least favorite.
I appreciate your
episode
geekdom that you can hang with the Star Wars geekdom too, by the way. So
yeah, of course.
no, what were you gonna say though? I didn't want to.
Oh, I was
cut
gonna.
off Star Wars thought. I never want to cut off Star Wars thought. It was just a brief
Okay.
interjection. Sorry.
Yeah, so I was just like, I was gonna say that I think my least favorite episode is episode 8 because the whole entire time it's just
I know.
Luke being like moody and stubborn
Yeah.
to get off this island that he's stuck on.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. It was. I mean, it had the idea of that was cool for like 10 minutes, right?
Mhm.
And it's like, okay, get him off, and then get him doing his thing, and let him be brooding or whatever, and then get him back in the pocket. Very similar to what they did with Obi-Wan, right? It's like, I don't have
Yeah.
the Force right now. I'm kind of, kind of a la shut the Force off kind of thing. And now you can see him getting back in the pocket, and now he's badass, right? That's all
Yeah.
anybody wanted with Luke, He would have.
they did that right though because they had, to make each episode kind of like slowly build him up in order to be powerful at the end to be
Right.
able to do what he did. So
Right. Epi put Stormtroopers forever, and it's like, do you mean the least credible security ever assembled in the history of all film?
yes.
Yes, that's the start. The worst shot in the history of anyone who's supposed to be security or police or whatever you want to call them, enforcers, military. They are the most inept crew ever assembled.
Yeah,
and the
I'd
fact
rather
that they actually had one make contact in Obi-Wan was crazy. I was like, oh, they got someone. This never happens. Like a stormtrooper took someone out.
yeah.
Yeah, but I understand.
Yeah.
So it's cool. I think you should be modeling your whole entire. This is just me. Don't just grain of salt. Model your entire career off trying to get one of your songs placed in Star Wars, and then be in Star Wars.
Damn,
That's the
that
goal
would
for
be-
all of us. It's the goal
Yeah.
for all of us. I'm just starting to come into this realization. I'm like, you know what I need to do? I need to get a song in Star Wars. And by the way, we're going to Wolf Trap, which is out here. It's a performing place in Northern Virginia. And checks out, we're going to watch Empire Strikes Back on a big screen, right? While the National Symphony Orchestra plays John Williams, all the music to the score while watching the movie.
Damn,
That's dope.
I mean,
that's magical.
2 weeks from now.
Yeah.
I don't have tickets yet. I'm talking like it's a done deal. I just looked at the thing today. I ran it by my son. I'm like, would you want to see this? He's like, maybe. I was like, no. no. You have to understand, there's not much Star Wars that mommy's going to be willing to watch, but she'll go listen to some John Williams classical music at Wolf Trap and then have to watch Star Wars up on the screen. It's not that she doesn't like Star Wars. It's just she's not really a sci-fi person like that,
Yeah, totally
So,
understand.
you see how I squeeze it out of my son. You know what I'm saying? I'm just like, like, okay,
Yeah.
wife doesn't do that, son will. Right? That's a good dad, right? Fly. That's what good dads do, right? Pull it out of them, right? Absolutely. All right, so we're gonna speaking of good. See what I tried to do there. Speaking of good,
Yeah, I saw that.
tell us about this next track we're gonna run.
All right, so this next track we're about to play is called "Feeling Good," and it's the intro track to my newest album, The Rise Up. And the whole track is about, being in a good mood, feeling good, but like also feeling inspired, feeling like you're able to accomplish anything that's put in front of you, and that's what this song portrays. So
Absolutely. All right, we're gonna run it right here. Check it out. You're hearing it first, I hope. Hyperion.
Are you recording? Hey. 3, 2, 1, go. Go. Hey, 3, 2, 1. Said 3, 2, 1, go. Dope. Rise up, baby. Feeling really good now. Might take a trip uptown. Everybody listen to the sound. Pulling the weight, lifting the pounds. Dap you up and say what's up. What you doing, man? Sign me up. Life getting crazy, good. That's what's up. Opportunities while I'm rising up. Killing all the hate when I line them up. Legs kick it up, man. I live it up. Pursuing dreams and I never give it up. You can do it all now, listen up. Hope you're living real good, well, maybe you should. Make it in the game, maybe I could. Hit the 9 to 5, maybe I would. Bada bang, bada boom, see you in the tomb. Here from the womb till I die for my doom. Babble coming soon, can't wait to consume all the love, keep it soon. Got so much to go for. Wave your hands like we on tour. Didn't plan for my music to soar. High on ambition and I can't hit the floor. Bringing the swag, running the back, chasing the bag. Emptying the rhyme, I'm a mag. Hot 100, about to make a zigzag. About to make a zigzag. Been working on some things. Man, I can rap and I can sing. To the table, watch what I bring. Got them round and under my wing. Get nervous when people talk to me. Stage fright and I'm moving awkwardly. I get stressed, man, I mean partially. My visions now aren't so far from me. My visions now aren't so far from me. Feeling like a dawn, ever since the moment I spawned. Watch me boom like the biggest of bombs. Giving up this life will be the biggest of cons. Got more power than a dynamic trio. No, I'm not a Leo, forget you like I'm CeeLo. Underground on the D-Lo. Got my back, illest rap, rapping on track. Bringing it back with the boom back. Clapping the game and calling my name. Kinda got me going insane, it's all in my brain. Inject the hype in your vein. I'm a stain in the game, nobody to blame. Everybody the same, yeah, I love to entertain. 5 out of 5, chop on the car. Destined to fly, feel so alive. Making the wage, turning the page. Jump on the stage, let out my rage. Yeah, let out my rage. I got so far to go, but time is slow. Been on the low, feeling good, you already know. Okay, I stay on the mic inlay. Focus on the track, man, that's a fact. Not a day that I don't write. Lyrics that I do type on the phone at my home. Cobblestone, have to say Hyperion. Yeah, have to say Hyperion. Alright, that's good.
Hyperion. Yeah, bro. Love
Hell
that
yeah.
track.
It's my
Very,
favorite
very,
song
very-
I've done yet.
That track is very Hyperion.
It is, definitely.
It's like, what does that song make you think of? It makes me think of Hyperion. What you think, Fly?
I like it, man. I like. Again, I can hear maturity in his lyrics, man. Even some of the words, bada bing, bada boom. Like it sounds
Right.
like and you can hear it come through. And I love the way you sound too, man. I can't believe it. That's really the truth.
Thank you, man. Appreciate that, for real.
When I was 16, man, and I was definitely rapping at 16. At 16,
I would have told Hyperion I would have battled him at 16, and I would have been like, "Yo, I'll battle you," and then I would have told myself I won, and people would have been like, "Nah, bro, he's better than you," and I would have been like, "Yeah, y'all hating." Like, y'all hating, man. I would have said a tough guy rhyme though. I would have hit you with a tough guy. I would have hit you with a tough guy punchline. I would have went "Hurrah!" when I was done, and then I would have felt good about myself.
Earlier today, that age range when I was being 16, which I just like the development is learning about things like cadence. When I was 16, I was putting a lot of emphasis on my work, and as I grew and the clever wordplay can get lost if the cadence and proper stay the
Yeah, you're
same
right about that.
word, and that took me years, man, to really mentor me and teach me about just like the aesthetics of hip hop, things that as opposed to just how clever you was. And once I learned that, it just like you said, man, it's like trust me, stick with
Yeah. And like I told you, Pro, like Illitant, man, if it wasn't for this man, I do not know where I would be right now. And part of like why my sound I feel like has evolved so quickly is really because he has nailed this stuff in my head from the beginning and has, turned me and shaped me into this really capable artists that can do these things. So I'm just
Yeah,
grateful for
absolutely.
him.
I
So
met both of y'all the same night. I met both of y'all guys at that show in Manchester, and he I was like, oh, let me go back and hear even more of his stuff. And he's impressive. You can tell he's I think when he was on, I could feel some of the frustration he has because of it's tough out there, right? It's tough
it
to
is.
build momentum and like be noticed, and it's like one of those things where I say this a lot. People talk about they'll be like, yo, what's it like performing and traveling and doing a college show, whatever. And I'm like, imagine that you are a superstar for 10 minutes and then, or a half hour, an hour. And then you go home the next day and you just do whatever. Like no one knows about it. Right. And it's somewhat like blowing up a show in New Hampshire. It's like it can be really isolated into itself. And unless people are spreading that for you and they're really pushing it and they're getting it out there, it can be like it never happened. And
Yeah.
it's because it's not in the big city, the big lights and all that kind of stuff. And there's probably not a million cameras on it. It's probably not getting shared as much as it could be, but doesn't mean it wasn't dope. It doesn't mean it didn't happen. And, you wake up the next day and go, yo, I just killed this show. How come nothing's different? And it's, it's like, where's the knock on the door kind of stuff. And
Yeah.
I mean, Fee's lived in Nashville since we were teenagers. He moved up there probably when we were about, I don't remember. He can tell you 16, 17, 18. I can't remember what age he was. Maybe he was 19. I don't even remember. But he moved up there, and I remember I was almost like crying. I was like, what? And he lived on the North Chelmsford Lowell line, which is about as close as you can get to living in, it goes Tingsboro, then Nashua. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it was like I was on the Lowell side of the line and lived like 200 yards down the street from him. And 250 yards, right? And then he lived on the North Chelmsford side. And then you can drive another mile and a half and you're in Tingsboro and another 2 miles and you're in Nashua. And now you're in New Hampshire. That's how close it is, And I
Wow.
remember thinking it was like the kiss of death. I was like, oh my gosh, he's going to be up in like exit 4 up by the Pheasant Lane Mall. Oh my God, that's going to be so great. He's past the Pheasant Lane Mall by like an exit. I was like, oh my gosh, this is like the end. And, and then you realize it's like, okay, it's mad close. And that's not going to be the spot that we concentrate on. It's to the point now, and this is where I'm happy for him now, is that there is kind of a scene. There are you cats out there doing your thing and kind of coming together. And, hip hop has gotten to that point where hip hop is everywhere. It used to be, it was very concentrated in certain spots. It was the same way when we were in Chelmsford. It was like, you kidding me? Like, every day we'd be like, okay, well, where are we going today? Like, let's go back to our friends in Lowell. Like, we gotta go see them. I gotta go. I was going every day. My whole family moved there, and then my parents were like, no, we're gonna go over to Chelmsford. I'm like, no, you don't want to do that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Even as a young kid, very young kid, I'm like, yo, like I knew. I'm like, that's the kiss of death, And that's how it was. But it's not really like that now. You can really do stuff wherever you're at. But I guess, I mean, you tell me, is that a frustrating thing or is it, I mean, what's the attitude for that when the spot you're in is maybe not hip hop Mecca and you're really not that far from some other spots that might have a more viable scene? Does it matter or how do you feel?
I mean, honestly think it depends on perspective, to be honest, because you can just kind of make yourself think that it's like it's all bad and stuff. But to me, I think it's like cool because you get to introduce these people that are kind of foreign to like the story of hip hop and show them, a different side of the music and stuff than they might listen to in this area, or, be able to connect with these tinier people that aren't heard by the industry and be able to create a new sound or be able to kind of build your way up in order to get to that path of being able to put yourself in a brighter spotlight, in a brighter, more populated location like Boston or, Florida, LA, stuff like that.
Yep. So I don't want to be that adult. I don't want to be that professor. I don't want to be that doctor who says to you, young Hyperion, so you thinking about college? But what like where is your mind at with like I mean again, I know what year, what are you, a rising junior? Is that what you are? Like
I'm gonna become a junior this fall.
yeah.
So
like where's your head at with that?
I'm honestly thinking
And I'll
about.
tell you why I ask in a second, but tell me what you're saying.
Okay. So I'm honestly thinking about taking 2 years of college and getting an associate's degree in business, and kind of like preparing myself to kind of be able to have more knowledge on how I can take this music career further, or just even having that degree in order to take myself elsewhere in case, this might not be the thing that ends up working for me. So I can start my own business in a different sense and still be able to thrive in success off of that. But
Dope. By the way, someone's throwing a comment here for you. I think it's Epi. He said not to shout out another group, but if he wants that hip hop boom bap, Mad Beats, the producers corner, they're cutting and mixing as well. All right, cool. Shout out to Cool. No, I hear you. Fly, I'll let you chime in on that too. And you know, that's like preaching to the choir to me. I tell everybody, like, why would you go for a 4-year degree when you can go get an associate's degree? Kill it, really, maybe, right? Or not. If you kill it, they give you more money to transfer that whole degree into another college and then go for your 4-year. And then, like, if you kill it with like a 3.6, man, I'll tell you what, like most of my videos I post, they got a couple thousand plays, maybe if I'm lucky, because I don't really promote them like that. I get this one of me in the lawn saying this exact same thing. There's like 15,000 posts on this thing. Not 15,000 posts, 15,000 views and like 200 posts of people chiming into what we're talking about right now. Like, I'm basically on there saying, why would you waste money to go for a 4-year degree when you can go try out a 2-year degree? It's like a lease.
it is. It really is.
Yeah, it's like, and then impress somebody else and be like, hey, look what I can do. It's like being called up from the D League and people throw money at you if you kill it. That's what we don't say that enough to young people. It's like it's a smart plan as far as where I'm sitting.
It is, and like, no matter like how deep you are, into the game as being an artist, and no matter like what exactly it is you're doing in the music industry, you always want to come prepared for anything to happen. You always have to be willing to adapt to your lifestyle to change. I always be like, I'm always making music, but in the background of my head, I always like have something planned in case things don't end up going the way I exactly want them to. And I feel like, regardless of what you're doing, if it doesn't end up working out, you should always have plan B. So,
what you say, Fly?
Yeah, man, I definitely, there's an advocacy within our circle about, to just life in general. I remember his first question to you is, what would you be successful? And the reason why that's important is because if you think about rappers aren't really rich rappers. And part of that is because they didn't plan on how to be successful.
They didn't get that song in Star Wars.
Right? So
they just would have been more smart about it.
And we can probably go through a list of athletes as well that don't still have the money. And so even if music does work, there still needs to be business acumen that you take extremely seriously. And like, no matter what, even if you become the biggest rapper in New England, you still need. I would still encourage you to educate yourself as much as possible. That will open doors for you that hip hop probably couldn't. Even in being successful, just good, man. To just have that plan B, like you mentioned, or just 2 plan A's. I don't see why it has to be a plan A's for myself, and especially
you got 2 plan A's. Fly.
Introverted. I'm introverted. Like, as much as I enjoy making music, that's probably the best making music. But I have really no desire to be around a bunch of people, to be a celebrity at all. Honestly, like, I want to be able to enjoy my labor. I want to be able to my kids go watch soccer games, basketball games, as my children play, and leave that there, and then come back home and be a normal person. Like, that's really my heart. So I can do that and take care of my family without ever making any money from rap.
I'm gonna be real with you right now. Honestly, like, I've made sure that I have other sources of income in order to support what I do. And right now I have like 5 sources of income, being able to support what I'm doing right now. And I think being able to hone that at a young age is really key to any other young artist that might be watching this, or even if you're in your 20s, man. Like, it's never too late. It's never too late. And the best thing is, on top of that, Pro, I think you might be proud of me for this, but my high school has given me credits for doing music outside of school. So
what?
I even get credits towards, my high school diploma.
That's hella
for
dope.
Doing this.
You should lead with that, bro. You should,
Yeah.
you should
I
lead with that. That's resume material. Yo, a matter of fact, right? Check the shirt I got on, right? Words, beats, and life. I want to tell you about this. So if you do the college thing, Words, Beats, and Life is an organization that's out here in DC. And these are the kind of things that I mean when I'm talking about, like, it's no disrespect to anybody's town or cities or anything like that, but it's like a lot of times we wait for someone else to do it. We go like, oh, it's too bad we don't have a Words, Beats, and Life where we are, right? Words, Beats, and Life was started by my man Mozzie, and Mozzie started it when he was in college. Now it's a super thriving company that's out here in DC that brings hip hop to the schools, right? They throw, he's booking shows at the Kennedy Center regularly. He's booked me at the freaking Kennedy Center, right? Like
Yeah.
that's where he books shows on a regular basis. He
Wow.
works with all the community organizations. He works with schools. He's working with politicians. He's working with the movers and shakers out here because of a club that he started in college. And the reason I kind of brought that up is I was like, as you start to, transition and start thinking about college, right? To like whether it's 2 years at a community college. I was speaking today doing an orientation at college, and I was like, hey, pimp college. Get everything you can out of this because you're paying to be here. And do you guys realize your student activities fee can help you start a radio station, start a podcast, start a club that actually brings artists to the school? All these kind of things that you can do while you're in school. Start an organization that becomes your 501c. That is a soup. I knew about this company when I came out here when I was in Boston. I wanted to do some event with them. I was like kind of hoping like it was like a girl. I was like, oh, I hope she asked me to dance kind of thing. I was like, oh, I hope they asked me to be in this major festival. And they didn't until I got here. And I got here and I was speaking to
That's good.
Howard and they were there. And yeah, and everything, the stars aligned, right? And they were like, yo. And I started teaching hip hop for them and performing at the Kennedy Center, blah, blah, blah. Well, I said that in the wrong order, right? But the point is that you could start one. You know what I mean? Like you could start the
No doubt.
organization that does exactly the kind of stuff that you're talking about, like getting credit for doing hip hop at a class and having your school be a little bit behind you and do some of that, those kind of things. That's an inkling that there might be a little bit more support there that you have an ability to generate. Because at the end of the day, they're supporting you. It's they might think it's cool that you're doing hip hop, but they're supporting you. And a lot of times we forget that. It's like you're the human, you're the face of what you're doing. If you can continue to garner that kind of support, there's no reason that you can't do it at the next level and make something that is a little bit more sustainable for you, so that it can be one of those things where it's just one of those. It might be the sixth stream of revenue that you have coming through. So it seems like you have a lot of initiative, and I think with some of the movement that's going on in that area, whether it's you or somebody else or a coalition of people that do that kind of stuff, I've always been kind of involved in those things and working in coalitions and working in, whether it's grassroots organizations or forming my own committees or forming my own production companies, forming my own labels, like those kind of things can sustain you at least for however long you really want them to sustain you. And when you tie it to school, you can sometimes get a lot more support than people realize. And I told the students, some of them today and some of the people I was speaking to after, I was like, your parents might get a kid and go, hey, I'm not going to have a full-time student for their whole life. I'm not going to support you until you're like 30, and it's like, guess what? I'm still in school. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
Yeah.
there's a reason you don't want to leave. It's a really good world, and you can really, it's a two-way street. There's a lot you can put in and a lot you can get out, and I think it's very rewarding. And I think it's a smart plan.
It's very true. A lot of kids my age, they just like see high school as a dreadful thing, and they're like, I can't wait to get out of here. But for me, like, it's kind of like this sentimental kind of thing, because especially the past like 2 years, it's really been a blessing to me. And some of the best years of my life have come out of the past 2 years of being in high school because of all the support that's been brought between the teachers, the people at my school, and just like my peers.
So now's the time to pitch for that graduation speech. If you're not the valedictorian, you got to get up there. You got to be like, yo, I got to do the rap. You know what I mean? Like, we did ours at prom. We didn't think that would work. It did. We were the prom group. You know what I'm saying? Like all those kind of things. The people remember that. They'll remember that your whole life. The people that you went to high school with, and some of those people will become part of your network or not. But some of them probably will. And you're right. It is a bittersweet kind of thing. It's like, this, you recognize how good it is. And it's like a lot of times we're like, yeah, like you said, it's a very mature stance because a lot of times we're like jumping to get out. I remember being at graduation thinking that, going, you know what? as much as I was dissing this school the whole time I was there, you know what I'm saying? There's a lot of support here that I probably not gonna necessarily have when I walk out into the next level. So,
You know what's the craziest thing to me about that actually is when I saw the seniors of this year getting ready to leave the high school, I started to notice like the last month of school, even more so the last 2 weeks, everyone
yeah,
just like got back together and really just like they dropped the social media life,
yeah.
and just went back to basics where
Such a
it's
weird
one on
time. Yeah.
one. It really is, and just like came together and like really just celebrated the fact that they were done with high school in a good way. And it was
Mhm.
really interesting to see from the outside.
Yeah, it's dope. That was
But
amazing.
yeah, so
Yes, sir. Well, any shows on the horizon, or how's that working with COVID and everything like that? Are things popping or what?
it's been difficult. I will tell you that right now. It is a difficult thing to get shows because of my age, and a lot of venues and stuff are just like instantly like saying no and stuff. So my school has been like just the kind of like number one thing that I've been able to take advantage of as far as getting my music across to people. So I'm
Dope.
trying my best to kind of like get out of that and be able to extend it further by going to bars or something like that.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
even just like open mic nights and stuff, I'm definitely gonna do more so of
Man,
that in the next like year. So fourth,
smart. Yeah,
yeah,
live at them, man. That's what I'll do. My man Fee definitely heard you. He was checking in, so he does a little radio show too. He might be someone good to hit up with as well. And my man Joey B, both original members of XCal. They do a show. I think it's called the Jump House. And so yeah, you might want to check for that. And Fee's doing shows all the time, like constantly.
if you could
So
link me to that after the show,
yeah, just I mean,
really.
yeah, definitely, absolutely. He's probably in there too. He might hit you directly as well, and if not, I'll give you his info. He usually checks in early, and then
Word.
watches back tomorrow. So, speaking of which, I got to be checking out as well at 10:30. So we only got a few more minutes. So anything else we need to wrap up with? Final thoughts, folks.
You want to play the last song? I don't know. It's up to you.
I don't know if I know I have it. I don't think it got loaded up in the thing. I know I wanted to. Let's see if I can get that to do what I wanted to do a second ago.
All right.
Because somebody who doesn't have a manager, he doesn't like, you know what I mean? Like if you had a little bit more, time. All right, let's see what I can do here. Fly, anything you want to say?
Man, I'm gonna hit hype up, man. If I for you, but yeah, I got some music for you, man. Some stuff.
I'm always open to listening, man. I'm totally up for that.
Yeah.
I'm interested, man.
We're gonna collaborate on some music, man. I'm gonna sing some stuff. I got a project I'm working on.
That's big.
I like working.
That's big.
I like working with young artists who are really passionate about what they do and kind of have their head on right. So it just is opening up to just a group of people who may not look for you or find you, but
And let me tell you, once
me
you
and
hear
Pro
a Fly track, it's gonna be in your head all day, bro.
I love to hear
we
it.
talk about this artists, man, and you just giving away CDs. Usually when you're an artist, one of your ambitions is you possibly can, and for me, it's just like, man, I just want to help as many people. What music is. Music is a platform and a ministry for me to be able to just open doors for me to do what I help people. So, yeah, man, we definitely gonna do something together, man.
I'm excited,
Yeah,
man.
Let me give you right before we do that, Hyperion. Right before we do it, let me give you a 10-second or so intro of a Fly beat. Let me just let you hear a Fly beat. Ready? Tell me y'all can hear this. You should be able to hear this. This is a Fly beat.
Yep.
Yeah.
You gotta step it up. Sometimes you just gotta step it up.
Step they make, I step it up. Yeah. You step, half step, better step it up. I step, 2-step, watch me step it up. Yeah, you better step it up. If you step to us, pulling up long range like we got step with us. Yeah. Better step it up. Yeah.
track.
Like a rubber band.
What?
God's plan.
Gotta step it up. You know what I mean?
That was insane. Oh my gosh.
That's the man right there.
That's
That's
the-
the man.
that's- track. That's the show track.
Yo, if you ever want to make a remix of that, I already have a verse idea for that. Wow.
See what I'm saying here? See what I'm saying? Just feel that. Feel that.
That beat was insane. Whoever produced that.
Yeah, bro. Well, I got some
Long
heavy
range
hitters,
like
bro.
we got stuff with us, huh?
Yeah.
friends.
What are you trying to say too with that line? Are you trying to say long range like we got pro with us wouldn't work? Like, are you trying to say that I don't have that long range game? Is that what you're trying to say?
I'm trying to say that there's a lot of people with range. I'm just, Wi-Fi is better with extended range.
It wouldn't have rhymed as
trying-
well. It wouldn't have rhymed as well.
Talk about that
Yeah,
gigabyte. Yeah. Step it up that plan, get unlimited.
Man, I tell you, Hyperion, you go on my Facebook page. I mean, you go on my Instagram page these days. It's nothing but the long range jumpers. You know what I mean? Nothing but the
Yeah.
long. You know what I'm saying? Listen. I'm trying to. Yesterday, I tried to give him the disrespectful shots. So I was coming with the disrespect. You got to click that in your own time, but you click that there, and it's my turn them around before they go in. A la Steph.
Illiton was actually telling me about that. He's like, man, he's still doing the ProQuo Show? And I was like, yeah, he's doing the ProQuo Show. And he's like, all I've been seeing him do is playing basketball. And I'm like, well, yeah. I mean, he can do more than one thing.
You can, bro. That's mornings from about 9 to 11 every day. I'm in there shooting and lifting and
I
trying
love
to
to
get
see the
bigger and
dedication.
get a little healthier. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. Just trying to. We're all trying to burn off that COVID. So I'm getting where I want to be. You know what I mean? So I'm just happy. And someday, Flies is gonna say long range like we got pro with us. Someday.
Someday.
Anyways, let's get into that Hyperion. What's the last track called? It's called Litness.
Litness, yeah.
Litness, like the test. Like the test.
Like the test.
All right, let's go. All right. All I've seen is them shots and good talk. All right. I got you, Epi. I'm reading Epi comments. All right, let's see. Let's get it going. I think I did it. I think we got it.
Okay.
It's going to take 1 second. We're going to get into this last Hyperion, and we're going to go out with that. So, fellas, I appreciate you both being here, and Hyperion. Love the progress, man. I like everything we're hearing, and this is Litness. Let's do it.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Absolutely, bro. Anytime.
Let me get up in your business. We didn't need to have no witness. Finesse to beat my litness. Another rapper can't be bitching. Making me feel like I'm floating. Making moves, they don't know it. Unless I come out and show it. Cadillac, man, I chromed it. My name is Hyperion, everybody get the gist. Got my watch to flick my wrist. Touch me and I'll throw a fist. Dog, you know I'm coming next. Got a single chance to make it. Take a dog, don't fake it. Hearts be breaking. Chances I'm taking. Money got breaking. Cooking dog, I'm baking. Immaculate when I'm rapping. Good beat when I tattoo it. My music, you just snapping it. Breaking rules, I'm the baddest. Settle down, I rest at ease. Dream to wake up to that Cali breeze. Chillin' and living, I might just freeze. Known around the 7 seas. Can't compete until I seize. Losing track of time, though. Know I'm on the rise, yo. Can't defeat my nasty flow. Call me a singular ace. Rappers nowadays lack the taste. Drumming and breaking the bass. Criminals catching the case. Criminals catching the case. Let me get up in your business. We didn't need to have no witness. Finesse to beat my litness. Never rapper can't be bitching. Making me feel like I'm floating. Making moves, they don't know it. Unless I come out and show it. Cadillac, man, I chromed it. Let me get up in your business. We didn't need to have no witness. Finesse to beat my litness. Never rapper can't be bitching. Making me feel like I'm floating. Making moves, they don't know it. Unless I come out and show it. Cadillac, man, I chromed it. When I'm on the mic, I'm snapping. Ladies love when I'm rapping. Screaming out what's happening. Word, always know the beats, man, the beat slapping. Catch me back back in the studio and I be snacking. Always go my team and they always be backing. I can't complain, I always seem to pull the racking. Industry full of snakes, I don't get trapped in. Fancy like filet mignon, rock a crowd and they sing along. Plan to stay very long. Luxury, wearing Louis Vuitton, loving that Louis V. Looking out, industry, bringing all of this dummy heat. Name some artists I like to meet. Logic, Bruno, Hollow, Cole, Cuddy, Yay, Jersey, Linda, man, that'd be sweet. Can't forget Donald Glover and many, many, many others. Those are like my brothers. Late nights in the summer till 3005. Hope that our name alive. Don't be scared, take a dive, and maybe someday you'll thrive. Let me get up in your business. We didn't need to have no witness. Finesse being my litness. A rapper can't be bitching, making me feel like I'm floating. Making moves, they don't know it unless I come out and show it. Cadillac, man, I chromed it.
Yeah, that came with that litness. That's the first one out when you're doing the live show, I hope, man. Or it's either closing it down or you're coming out with that one.
Yeah, coming out with that one.
Yeah, bro, that's hot. I like that. I like that. Or you come out with the feeling good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
True. Anything is
Either way,
possible.
man. Sounds good, man. The progress is evident. It's clear. I think good things are on the horizon, and we got to wrap it up. But pleasure having you through, and always great talking. Anytime you got something to promote, let us know. We'll try to schedule that in.
Absolutely, man. Thank you for the opportunity again. I appreciate both of you greatly for everything that you have, put in as, your opinions and, what you think and whatnot, all the advice. So thank you so much for being a part of this. And yeah.
Absolutely, bro. Absolutely. All right, my man. I'll let you go, and we out of here in a moment too. That was Hyperion, New Hampshire, Concord. That's what they doing up there in Concord, Fly. That's what they doing, man.
Okay. I got to see.
He was keeping that litness in the cut, though, wasn't he?
He was
keeping that in the cut. He's
keeping the litness.
Like, yeah, I'm gonna come with that. I said that to someone before. They didn't get it. They said, yo, we're going to put your stuff to the test. And I was like, it's going to pass the litmus test. And they were like, oh. And I was like, no, you were late. You were slow on it. And litmus, man, like the test. That's got to be the tag. Litmus, like the test.
I was inspired by the young. Like I said, from the very first time when he first came to the show, before I actually was out on, and then to now, like I said, to witness the growth. And even 3 songs that we heard, you can tell that maybe were not already in different times. You can hear the progression in each song too.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. Absolutely.
So, man, that's and he has his head on his shoulders. I was most impressed about how poised he is as a person, how consuming the industry can be. Industry can be in any form of entertainment, whether it's sports entertainment or industry, man. Just to see how poised he was, man, to have his head on.
Yeah, absolutely. I say I screw up 1 out of every 5 interviews. I still do. Where it's like, I'm like, oh man, I wasn't taking this seriously, or I was just too frazzled. I had too much math in my head while I was doing a hip hop thing or whatever. Yeah, he's right on lock. He knows what he's there to say and what he's there to do. We take lessons from we got past the litmus test, bro. That's what we gotta do. We gotta pass the litmus test. Boom boom. It's kind of like a Fly song you just have in your head, I already forgot the Fly track, and then it was like I was thinking about what's the Fly track, because you get a new one in your head and you're like, oh, wait a minute, I know the Fly track now. I got that back in my head too, so I'm like, yo,
hey, bro,
I do that work.
Did I see instrumental right?
What you say? You cutting in and out. I missed you. What'd you say?
The instrumental I gave you, man, I got to get it to the Quo. So we can kind of wrap.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. That's a lot of fire on the track there. Yeah, the Quo Pro Fly. That's what we should call it. We should call it Quo Pro Fly.
That's it.
How about Fly Pro? How about Fly Quo Pro? It was our man Tommy Jackson who said, "You guys got to go by Quo Pro sometimes because Quo needs to get his flowers." So I'm like, "Yeah, we got Dive in It coming to radio. ProQuo coming to radio at the end of this month, folks. It's out there. It's on the album. You can listen to it. It's my man Hendo, but we're gonna be working at the radio, working it, working it, working it. See what we do? We drop a pro track, then we drop a ProQuo track. We drop a pro track, then a fly comes out with some stuff, and we're like, bam, and then there's a fly and a ProQuo track. It's just a lot of good stuff, bro. A lot of good stuff. Yo, I have to have on soon. I have to have on. I put it up before the show just to say this. We're gonna have the director of Montreal Girls coming up soon. I got to schedule it for a date to come up on the show. We only have so many weekends left before her premiere. Let me just show what I'm talking about here. If people didn't see it, this is just really off my own page. If you go to my Facebook page, which is Professor Lyrical, you will see this little graphic right there. That's the cover to, that's the new single. Well, it's one of the new singles by me coming out in August. It's called Dark Poetry. And those are two scenes from the movie, actually, from Montreal Girls, which comes out August 20th at the Cinequest Film Fest in California. The red carpet event is August 20th, 2022. That song is as it says there, the theme song of the movie. It's about the movie. It's about the main character, Rami. Rami is it's kind of like this write up here is kind of talking about how his life kind of mirrors my own as an artist, which is what's dope. Hakim Brahimi, he plays Rami, and he's going to medical school, but he's this dope spoken word poet. He's kind of getting pulled into the nightlife in Montreal while he's going for his studies, and a little bit of something I can relate with too. So he's trying to break in there, something and kind of what we're talking about a little bit too with Hyperion. Just you trying to lock the student stuff down, knock it out while you can, do all the stuff you can that can help you figure out what you're calling, that kind of stuff while you're doing the art. And that's a lot of what this movie's about and a whole lot more. So looking forward to that. The director is Patricia Chica. She's amazing. She has a whole system to the way she produces her movies, and she's got a whole thing with this cheat energy that she does on the set, which is kind of her trademark. So I'm looking forward to that. And the song's coming out soon. Produced by JB, our man Justin Brown, legendary. Soundwork Productions did all the instrumentation on there, and my man M. Dot did the beat. So shout out to M. Dot. So that's that. Looking forward to it. Yes. Yes, sir. Well, Fly.
Hey, bro.
We got to do our thing. I'm an hour ahead. You're an hour behind. So if you're sleepy, I'm more sleepy. I'm not sleepy. I don't sleep. I'm thinking right now about the power walk I'm about to go do. I'm like, should I go lift? Should I go shoot? Or should I go walk? That's what I'm thinking. 10:43, bro. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, bro. Walk would be great right now, to be honest with you. I might go get on my bike for 45 minutes, kind of ride around.
Ooh, that sounds good.
Yeah,
that sounds real good.
I've been riding. I've been in and out of town for the last 3 weeks. In a week and a half, so I hadn't been able to ride it, man. And clear my head. I actually got to work tomorrow and Sunday.
I got to work tomorrow too. 9 a.m. You know what I'm doing? 9 a.m. Umpiring a men's baseball game at 9 in the morning. A 9-inning game, 9 a.m. bro. They're men's league. They're 48 plus. 48 plus. Yeah. That's the rule. What a very specific number. You have to be at least 48 to play in the team. I asked them last week. I was like, bro, I don't want to umpire this game. I want to be on the team, man. They were like, this is 48 plus, whippersnapper. You're not going to be able to get down with it. I was like, you know what? I'm actually not umpiring your game. I'm umpiring the game after it, but let me get some paperwork. Let me get some paperwork going. And, he goes, we got a lot of people fudging it. I was like, yeah, I'd be fudging it too. I was like, keep talking that talk. Keep talking that talk. He's like, yeah, we can't get youngins like you on the team. I was like, yeah, bro, you might be surprised. You might be surprised. No, I didn't say all that. I just kept it moving. I was like, yeah, I hear you, man. You don't want the 32-year-olds getting out there and hitting that ball around. You might get protested. So, anyways,
Oh man. All right.
all right,
Peace.
we out of here. Shout out to Hyperion, and we out. Another one in the bag. And you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna end the only way you're supposed to end, which I don't always do, but I'm gonna make sure I do it tonight. We're gonna end the right way. We're gonna end with the outro because the outro is the intro, baby.
We get it ready to blow. We get it ready to blow. We get it ready to, so ready to, oh so ready to.
I'ma go get it.
We get it ready to.
I'ma go get it.
We get it ready to.
I'ma go get it.
We get it ready to, so ready to, oh so ready to.
We ready for jump ball, center court now, standing tall now, hold the fort down. This is showtime, more than sports now, more than crunch time. We rush like fourth down.
I be taking wins. We don't mess with laws. I be taking wins. We don't mess with laws.